Let me set the scene. You're going about your day. Everything seems normal. It's status quo. You're kind of doing the same thing that you've always done until bam, something hits you and you now have a choice to make. How are you going to handle it? And it could be anything that happens in our lives. It could be our child is called and said, I'm in trouble. It could be the doctor just told you you have cancer. It could be dealing with a natural disaster and you've lost everything. It could be you have to deal with a horrible coworker. It could be you have to deal with your own stuff. It could be any of these things. So how do we handle it? For me, my story started with superheroes. I love superheroes. So when I was growing up, my only child, latchkey kid, those superheroes became my family and my friends. And we went on adventures together in my imagination, and we were beating the bad guys all day long, right? And in fact, my very first comic books were Wonder Woman. And this woman was amazing. And she had the tools and the team and the attitude. Like, nothing is impossible. There's always a way. Her whole being inspired me so much in my entire life. So there are episodes of my life, as we all have episodes, seasons of our lives, where there's a lot of adversity and a lot of challenge. And I had to determine what my attitude was going to be at each step of those things. Now, mind you, I didn't always hit 100%, okay? Not perfect. But looking back now, I do realize there's a system in place that I have learned from the heroes. So I did a little studying and took my love of superheroes and wrapped it into a whole training program. Believe it or not, you can have fun with training. So I have now titled this Being Super. So it's not a matter of you being a superhero, but it's how do you engage your inner hero while you're trying to accomplish something, or while the world has just hit you upside down and you need to step up. How do we look at this? So Joseph Campbell actually wrote about a template of a hero story. And there's like 12 stages of this. If you've done any research on that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I've kind of distilled it down into 4 sections. Here's the structure. The call. Everybody gets called out. I've got some favorite stories that I talk about during the keynotes and trainings, and everybody has that moment that they remember being called out. That is our status. We've been in status quo, and then all of a sudden something happens and we're called out. We have the choice. Do we get to go on an adventure, or are we going to pass that up and just go into this swirling pit of negativity? Okay? So let's say you choose the adventure one because it's a lot more fun. So that starts the quest. That's the second phase. And during the quest, you always have some things happen in that quest. One, a mentor is going to show up. Whether you realize it or not, you have a guide. And that guide could be anyone from anywhere about anything. And you also will have a team that forms. You realize during that quest who your support system really is. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. So how do we determine who that team is? How do you find your team? Then we'll talk about the tools. So every hero has their own special tools that you use. Captain America has a shield. Wonder Woman has the golden lasso, the tiara, the bracelets, the invisible plane, a sword, a shield. She's kind of got it all. So we have to talk about our special tools. What are the things that we're good at, that skills and talent section. And you really start to find out what you're made of during the quest. So this is where it all works together to determine your core values, your personality, your skills, what is the thing that makes you different from your teammates, different from anybody else, the gifts that you bring to the world. What's the value system that you have, and how are you living that out? It's that part of the quest that you find out what you're made of. So we take that, and now we got to go to battle. All right, this is not the fun part. This is dealing with adversity, dealing with a challenge head on. You are going to fight the battle, and you might get your ass kicked that first time around, because we all sometimes have to go through things more than once to really learn the lesson from that. And I know that some of you know what I'm talking about with that too. So from the battle, though, we have the opportunity to figure out who the real villain is. Sometimes it's not who we think it is. Sometimes it's our own thoughts that are creating this demon to battle. Think about it. So we figure out who the real villain is and we take that on. And we figure out how to win that battle. Because ultimately in the battle, in the big epic battle, if you watch any superhero movies, you know the battle is going to happen again with that same villain until the defining moment happens. And that is up to you. That defining moment is whenever you come face to face with that villain and you win. You pull everything that you have, everything that you've learned, everything that you've heard from your guide, every support feeling that you've gotten from your team, every tool that you have, that pulls out in that defining moment. And you win. Awesome. Let's celebrate and celebrate the win. How do you learn to celebrate? We have just won this battle. We have kicked the aliens' asses off Earth. Now what? Are we going to go have shawarma? Who knows? How do we want to celebrate? That's completely up to you, but always celebrate the victory. So you've celebrated the victory, but it doesn't stop there, because you know what? What do you know? It happens all over again with a different villain, a different alien invasion, a different... That is what is called the continuing adventures. So if you are still breathing and upright, you have a continuing adventure every day. An opportunity is going to come to you, whether you realize it or not, to have another adventure. And who knows, you may be trying to deal with 2 or 3 adventures at once. Some of us are like that. But with every opportunity, you have that moment of choice. If you want to engage your inner hero and be super. So if you have any questions, or you're interested in getting started with some sort of a training, or have me speak about what being super really is to your group, by all means, hit the little button, contact me, we will get that conversation started. Thanks.